This week, the Grand National was on, and Noble Yeats won the race. I'd imagine it was a very exciting race, but I turned off when my two back horses both fell within the first 10 seconds of the race. Formula 1 fans were forced to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch the Australian Grand Prix, which saw Leclerc win comfortably and go 40 points clear, while last year's world champion Max Verstappen did not finish in another race, pushing him down to 7th in the standings. Scotty Scheffler came through a final round tussle with Cameron Smith and overcame a late charge from Rory McIlroy to ease to a maiden major victory at the Masters. But, as exciting as that all is, we're here for football. And more importantly, your Premier League roundup. Newcastle Vs Wolves.
So the first game of the week was on Friday, and it's when Newcastle met Wolves. Both teams, it was a very important game for them. Wolves are pushing towards more of the Europe spots, and even Champions League possibly, and Newcastle were just trying not to get dragged into the relegation scrap happening at the bottom of the table.
Newcastle did dominate the game, but with Wolves missing two of their biggest names, Ruben Neves with a knee injury, and Raul Jimenez is still serving his ban this game, things could have been different, but with Wolves not registering a single shot on target until the 81st minute, it seems that maybe there are more problems than just the players out on the sidelines.
With the former Wolves striker Don Goodman saying on Sky Sports commentary they haven't deserved it at all and they've been really poor. Champions League hopes, although unlikely, seem impossible now for Wolves.
Everton versus Manchester United.
So Saturday started off with a massive game for two teams that were really underperforming at the moment. Man United versus Everton. Everton are trying to hang in this league, losing 3-2 the other week to Burnley, leaving their 1 point between them and the relegation zone.
And Everton still need to play Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal as well. So a win against Man United would be vital if they wanted any chance of avoiding relegation. And the win is what they got. The standard of football wasn't great, but United were just awful this game. Ralph Rangnick's quote was something along the lines of like, if you're not going to score against the team that conceded 3 to Burnley, you're just not going to win. I'm definitely butchering the quote there, but it was something in that vein.
Yeah. Isn't a good thing to hear.
No, not at all. And United were just awful, and it just let Everton run the game. And their golden boy, Gordon.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he got the goal as well. He got the winner for Everton.
It was interesting to actually hear the post-match interviews because De Gea is not happy. He actually came out and labelled his team a disgrace. And also that there's that video going around of Ronaldo smashing that fan's phone, which is quite funny, but it's not a good look for your main man, let's say.
It's not good for the CR7 brand either, really, is it? But Southampton versus Chelsea.
So on to the 3 PMs now, and my team Chelsea are played Southampton at St Mary's, and they won 6-0. And it could have been more.
Yeah, if not for Fraser Forster, who's probably the only Saints player that's actually really worth mentioning when we talk about this game, actually. Obviously, Southampton have had some shocking defeats in recent seasons.
We're used to them getting thrashed, aren't we?
We really are, yeah. It was Man United 9-0 last season, I believe.
And then Leicester the season before as well.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So yeah, it could have been another one of those if not for Fraser Forster, which is worth noting. But yeah, a lot to talk about with Chelsea actually in that game.
Yeah, can I start off with Werner's should have been hat-trick in the first half. He hit 2 posts either side and the crossbar as well, and you've got to be finishing those chances.
But that's the woodwork hat-trick, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's worth nothing, but it sounds good in the stats.
Yeah.
But he did actually end up getting 2 goals in the end, along with Mount, who is now Chelsea's top goal scorer this season, with in the league anyway, with 10 goals and 8 assists.
And Kai Havertz scored as well.
He did.
And Mr. Marcus Alonso also managed to get his name on the score sheet in that one. But yeah, Chelsea really could have got more. They had 24 shots at goal, 14 on target throughout the match. Watford versus Leeds.
Long and short of it is, Leeds destroyed Watford in this game, and Leeds are trying to push themselves away from that relegation scrap.
So it looks like that's going to bring Watford down into almost certain doom now. They're sitting on 22 points, second to bottom of the table. Leeds are sitting in 16th, but with 33 points. And Burnley and Everton both have 2 games in hand. But yeah, Leeds could find themselves back down there with Watford very soon if results don't go their way. And this is an interesting stat here. Watford are the first side to lose 9 consecutive home matches in the Premier League since Wolves did it between January and April, way back in 2012 now. And they've also lost 12 home league matches in a single season for the first time in their entire history. Arsenal versus Brighton.
Last week we spoke about Brighton not being able to score goals. And it's very important that Arsenal won this game. And they should have won this game, but they didn't. Arsenal have really struggled in their last 2 games. They lost to Palace 3-0. And then they've gone and lost 2-1 to a Brighton side that can't even score goals.
So yeah, no, it's just not good enough from Arsenal. They're trying to push for top 4. They shouldn't be conceding 2 goals to a team that have failed to score that many goals in their previous 7 matches. So they've only scored 1 goal in their previous 7 matches combined. And then they go and net 2 against a team that think that they should be playing in the Champions League next season, or would be liking to play in the Champions League next season. It's just not good enough from Arsenal, really. Aston Villa versus Tottenham Hotspur.
After the defeat Arsenal took against Brighton, Spurs needed to win this game to take advantage. And they did. And they won it by 4 goals, in fact. Son's hat-trick means they have scored 9 goals in their last 2 games.
Yeah, that's not bad at all from Spurs, is it? Conte seemed very happy with the result, saying it was a great win for us, especially when you play a game after your rivals for a place in the Champions League. Wolverhampton, Manchester United and Arsenal have lost.
Gerrard felt a little bit confused about the result, as he felt his team played better than the score says, especially in the first half. He said, first half, it was the best performance we've had together in the first 45 minutes. I can't remember many times throughout my football career when I've actually been proud and so happy going off the pitch 1-0 down. Arsenal actually still do have a game in hand.
Oh.
So it could get a little bit exciting now. We have got a North London derby that hasn't got a date on when it's going to be played. You would believe that the Premier League will want to put this game as the last game of the season. Could we see Spurs versus Arsenal, last game of the season, winner, top 4 Champions League? That would be brilliant.
That would be incredible. That could be a new version of the Aguero moment. You never know. Brentford versus West Ham.
So Brentford have actually beaten West Ham in this game 2-0. This is 2 London derbies in a row that Brentford have won.
And may I just add, it's their first season back amongst the big boys as well, which makes that even more impressive. But yeah, so they're currently sitting in 13th, and they have also just affected West Ham's push for the top 4, actually, putting them 3 points behind Arsenal, who still have 2 games in hand on the Hammers.
They are actually also level on points with the Red Devils, who also have a game in hand. With West Ham still in the Europa League, maybe that might be the best way of them getting in the Champions League this season.
Very true, but do you really think they would end up beating like Barcelona in the final if it came to it? I don't know if they could really put all their hopes on that. Honestly, I think it would be more likely West Ham would finish 6th than win the Europa League. Brentford have now done the double over West Ham this season, which is the first time they've managed to do that since the 1953-54 season, which is nuts. And got a bad stat for West Ham fans. They've now lost 7 of their last 11 Premier League away games, winning 2 and drawing 2. Now, 1 more away defeat than they suffered last season.
Thomas Frank, Brentford's manager, had this to say: I'm very proud of the performance. It was possibly even more complete than the Chelsea one. The way we did it shows how far we've come.
Leicester versus Crystal Palace.
Leicester beat Palace 2-1 with 2 goals in the first half from Lookman and Dewsbury Hall. This game didn't really affect either team in the table though, really. It looks unlikely either team are going to challenge for Europe spots, and they're not really in the relegation talk at all.
Norwich versus Burnley.
Norwich get an amazing result against Burnley, helping them in their relegation battle, winning 2-0.
Norwich have been at the bottom of the table nearly all of the season now, and after this game they still find themselves 7 points from safety. Dean Smith's side will fight till the end, and he was quoted saying, "This result shows we are still fighting. We can stretch it to the distance where we can. that gives our dressing room an awful lot of belief. Manchester City versus Liverpool.
This was the game of the week, wasn't it? This was potentially the title decider, but it wasn't because it was 2-2. The fight goes on, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible game of football from start to finish. I think both teams had luck in certain elements of the match. I must say, as a Liverpool fan, we were lucky with some decisions, like pre-VAR era. That Sterling goal would have definitely stood.
But it is offside, isn't it?
It is. It is. But it's so close that no linesman would have been able to have seen it with the naked eye, I don't think.
Do you think City were the better side, though? I think they were, but by watching the game, I think there was one player that actually let them down a bit, and this could seem a little bit harsh because he did score, but Gabriel Jesus had many chances to put the ball cross goal or pass it back for them to give themselves a more dangerous shot, and he just had a go at goal. And I know he's a striker and that's in your mindset, but you've got to think more for the team there. They could have easily won this game.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. Honestly, I will take the draw at the end of the day, purely because if City had have won, it would have been a 4-point gap, and Liverpool would have been requiring on 2 slip-ups from City to close the gap. If we'd have won, we would only have been 2 points clear, and City would have only needed us to slip up once to have taken top spot again. So all things being said, I would say a draw actually benefits Liverpool more than it benefits City, and there is definitely an argument that they were the better side on the day. So yeah, all things said and done, I will take the 2-2 draw.
To be fair, the favourite final for the Champions League, it looks like it's setting up for a Man City Liverpool. So this storyline here is far from over, and obviously your Man City are a great rival, but this could boil over. This could make some hatred here.
The rivalry is becoming more and more real. You see all of this stuff about it being like a Twitter rivalry and stuff, but actually, games like this add passion to it. This is going to be a historical game, I think. This game's going to be one for the history books, and it's games like this that make the Pep Klopp City Liverpool rivalry really have a lot more passion in it. And
100%.
And yeah, I think it might not be as deep and bitter as Chelsea against Arsenal, but yeah, it's a big rivalry, and at the end of the day, we're blessed to be witnessing these two great managers managing these two great teams in the Premier League at this time. So.
And also, you've got to think, a rivalry isn't all about the history as well. It's easier to be rivals with someone that's on the same level as you. And neither Everton or Man United are really in touching distance of Liverpool at the moment. And Man City and Liverpool, you just can't. They're two completely different sides when it comes to it, but they're so alike at the same time. You never know who's going to win those games. They're just too good.
It really is, and it just proves yet again that the Premier League is the greatest league in the world. And on that note, thank you for joining us for Premier League Roundup, the greatest roundup of the greatest league in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe.